He does not know it, but he is the one getting trapped.
A trapper becomes a trappee. This is call an ambulance, but not for me. This is that situation.
Oh, that is a tough turn for Arrow. Picks up a nut flush draw, and his opponent has a straight.
Yeah, what a run out.
Really like his decision to just call there.
Interesting to see how much Dakari bets. He can put It's Me Arrow in if he'd like. It's a little bit bigger than pot if he does. He does put him in. Talk us through this one, Aaron.
It's really tough to imagine your opponent having that many bluffs here on this texture. You know, like, could he just have the Queen of Hearts and nothing else? Maybe. King of Hearts, nothing else? Maybe. But your opponent is usually dealt 2 cards. And again, it's hard to have just bluffs here. Not everyone's going to have them. And so I think Arrow does have a lot of better hands. In this spot, he's going to have flushes, he's going to have straights, he's going to have, I guess those are the 2 best ones. But it's really tough with the Ace of Hearts, and he does find a call.
Yeah, horrible spot for It's Me Arrow. You got to feel sympathy for him there. It is a cooler. Dakari's had some unfortunate spots. This is obviously an amazing spot.
Yeah, this has the makings of a classic cooler. Where I think Kaizen basically trapped.
Yes.
And he does not know it, but he is the one getting trapped.
The trapper becomes a trappee. This is call an ambulance, but not for me. This is that situation. In goes the money. Kaizen gets the bad news. Does have the flush and escape route, but it doesn't hit. And Dakari gets a double up, stops the bleeding in a big way. And Kaizen goes from pretty much the chip lead to being the short stack.
Dakari really hasn't been that aggressive in terms of like 3-bet bluffing. There was one I saw earlier, but 4-handed here, ace, queen, kings. For a lot of people, the money just gets in.
Yeah, you ever doing anything other than shipping it here if you're Rick?
No. Not unless I think my opponent is the tightest player I've ever seen.
Which Dakari isn't, I don't think.
No. I mean, if he ships and wins his pot, he's chip leader. There's equity in that by itself.
Yep, and it goes. Big confrontation. 6.6 million in the middle. Dakari hits the king and is going to take this down, knock out Rick, and restore their chip lead. They were the big chip leader. They had a series of reversals, and now they've found their way back with nearly 8 million. GG's to Rick, who played a really good final table, and they were worth $200. Put that on the pile for Dakari.
Decision here for Kaizen style was second pair. Queen of Diamonds is a bad card to have, theoretically. Blocks a lot of his bluffs potentially, but he calls one more.
Yeah, and a significant call because Kaizen Styles only has half a pot size bet left on the river here.
And now you have a hand that actually goes from, you know, blocking some bluffs to blocking flushes, which is good.
You think he calls this?
I think he's more likely to call this than normally call the turn, so I'm not sure. He does call it.
Yeah, I guess the horrible news. Dakari has the unlikely overpair.
I think people are used to playing games quickly. Like if you play like some sort of like video game by yourself, you're just kind of going through the screens, and they forget that poker's a game between 2 people, where, you know, that actually can be an issue.
Here we go again.
6. Oh no.
Double up for Ebbs as it stands.
No.
Oh, 8 plays.
8 plays.
8 plays. What a river for Dakari. Well, live by the river, die by the river, I guess, because Ebbs 3-outed Dakari earlier in that heads-up match. Dakari does eventually get there and had the $1,000 bounty all along on their own head.